Hello Systema gaming fans. Today we have a tutorial on how to build the boxes and container sets in the Base-0 series. In this set you have the three larger kits right here, the three large containers. You have three small boxes, two long boxes and short boxes, two long and taller boxes, and then 6 cubed boxes. This set you can make everything. It comes with 4 MDF components or MDF trays: XB1, XB2, XB3, and XB4. Make sure you have all of those before we start. And just so you can see what we'll be building, this is one of the big kits. We've already assembled one of the big containers. Removable ladder, you can glue it in place, but if you are going to paint them, we would suggest you leave this off until you paint it. This is not a painted tutorial, but this is an assembly tutorial. So included in the cellophane, you'll have, of course, your picture, and then you'll have 3 similar, almost exactly the same sprues, except for the fact that you're going to have a different name on each of these. For example, this is Cbot Community Robotics, and this one right here is Systema Industries. So those are all the same. You're going to have the stuff to build the big containers. These are other materials for the big containers, and then you're going to have a couple small boxes right here. And then you're going to have one of these guys, and these ones are all going to be your small boxes, not your containers. And that's all that is in the box. Okay guys, next we're going to go over what materials you need to properly build this. First of all, you're going to need yourself some good wood glue. You can use PVA glue, but since MDF is a wood composite, you're going to want a good wood glue. Gorilla Glue is good. This bottle costs, I think, $8 at Walmart. You're going to be lasting you for a while. And I put that in a little shot glass here, just so it's easier to manage and easier to get. Next, you're going to need a paintbrush. That's a good throwaway paintbrush. You can get one at the dollar store, Dollarama. You want something a little bit with longer bristles so you can control the glue more easily. And then of course just a bucket of water. Once again, a cup that you don't really care about. Next, you're going to need a nice sharp knife. Now please be careful. Knife safety is always important, but you want a good knife that's going to cut through the MDF and need it to do what you need it to do. Finally, you're going to want a paint rag. Now the paint rag is just, or for a glue rag to get extra excess glue off and whatnot. And finally, a really important part that a lot of people seem to not include lots of the time is the importance of elastics. Now this is just, I think I got this at Dollarama, which is a Canadian buck store. I'm not sure if you have that. But elastics to wrap things up, hold them nice and tight while they dry so you don't end up with a wobbly, loose figure. So those are the materials we need. Let's go on to the assembly instructions. Okay guys, once you have your kit, once you have your materials, let's go on and see how we're going to assemble this. Now for time's sake, we don't want you guys to have to watch a really long video that shows every single thing we do. We're going to show you enough so that you can do it comfortably, but yet it's a short enough video that you can watch it all and not get bored. So first step, you unwrap your telephone, make sure the 4 sprues you need are there, the MDF sprues, and let's go on and start with the assembly. So we're going to show just how we prep each sprue. So MDF is cool. What happens is a laser printer is going to cut, or can I say laze? I'm not sure if I'm going to use laser as a verb, but they cut each individual piece on a set sheet like this. And the way Systema have done it is actually kind of ingenious. They maximize the usage of each MDF piece. So you're going to see here, you got the big pieces right here, right here, right here, right here. And then you got pieces like this, which this is part of the building itself. But then the inside here, you can just pop it out, has more things you're going to use. But let's talk about this first of all. You're going to see this thing is held on. Now the laser cuts, but it leaves very small fragments of the MDF left attached, so it stays attached to the sprue. That's where your handy knife comes in. You're gonna see right here, and let's go ahead and zoom in. 1 second here, guys. Alright, so we're going to see, where's one on here? Right here. If you could take a look right there, there's a little piece of MDF where it looks like the laser didn't cut. That's actually, let's zoom back out. That's actually not true. That was purposely left there, so in fact that the laser would completely cut it and leave it still attached. So what you do is you take your knife, And you very carefully, you just kind of pop it like that. See, it's going to cut, and make sure there's no other ones on this side. And then you pop it out, and it should just come right out. Boom, like that. So there you go, off to the side. And then you do that to all the other ones. Very carefully, you don't want to cut yourself, but the knife should be sharp, so very easily, and just pop it off. Okay, and then you do that for all of them. Sometimes you can take the piece and it can wiggle off nice and easy. See, that's not one of them, but this one's, larger ones like this, you can just wiggle it and it'll pop right off. And then you want to do that to all of them. So get everything off the sprue, guys, the whole kit. Some of you might say take each individual part. No, for speed process, we want to get this done fairly quickly because we want to use a train and we want to make sure it's put together well, but we want to get it done fairly quickly. So for the easiest way to do it is do all steps at once. So get everything off. And so we got 3 of these. We're just going to go over here, and it's the same thing with this guy right here. So you're going to have one of these, lots of parts. So like I said, find your little sprue connecting pieces, pop it off, and then push it out. Boom. So and then this one should just come out like that, and then you just turn them off. You want to do it carefully. You want, if it's struggling, don't push it off, guys, because it is just wood and it will break. But do it gently, make sure everything gets off. If it doesn't pop off easily, use a knife, cut the little pieces like we showed you again, and do that. So guys, go ahead and take everything off the sprue. Make sure you kind of organize it into the piles and into the pieces. And we're going to come back and we're going to show you how to assemble each of the 6 different variants in this box. Or sorry, 5 different variants of boxes and containers. Okay guys, and here's all the pieces we have to assemble, taking off each of the sprues. Okay guys, let's go ahead. I want to zoom in and show you something that's an important next step that we have to do before we can actually assemble everything. Okay, so here we are. You're going to see that right there is where we took it off the sprue. Now if you cut it, there might not be a lot of flashing, but you're going to notice that it's not exactly flush. There's a little bump or a bit of leftover of flashing from the laser cut. We need to get rid of that because these kits are designed really well, and they're designed so that they fit flush with each other. This bump is going to make it so that the pieces don't exactly sit flush. So all you do is you take your knife and you kind of just run it along, and it's like sanding it. You just, and it's flush. Now there's no longer going to be that bump there. Now you're going to have small pieces like this. You might need to get a different X-Acto knife because this one is big and it can, no, I guess it works, but you can get a smaller X-Acto knife if you wanted to, kind of a hobby knife. Now this is the most tedious step of the whole thing, but you have to do that to every single piece and make sure every single thing of flashing is gone. Now also please note, some of the Systema kits have options that you can either leave the door on. So let's say this was a door, you could leave it on or break it open. And then we have stuff like this where this was on the inside of right here. This is not a door thing. We have to pop this out and then get to those 4 small pieces right there. So make sure you get those out of the case, clean off all the flashing, and we're going to come back guys and we're going to show you how to build the big containers first. And we're back. After you've cleaned off every single piece, you can start building. Now I know it's going to be tedious, but get through the hard work so you can get to the fun stuff. So before me, we're going to build the big container, or the shipping container first. These are all the pieces you're going to need to build the container and its adjoining ladder. So you have the top of the container, the bottom of the container, 2 long sides of the container, 2 short sides of the container. You have the 2 end caps. These are kind of legs for the middle of the container, and finally the assembly pieces you need for the ladder. It's always good to dry fit your stuff, so let's go ahead and put the ladder off to the side for now and start with the container. The way this is built is this is the bottom, and then you have 2 sides that slot in like so. And then the top, and this is the order you want to glue the stuff in guys, and then the top goes on. So let's get that top on, that side's in, and that side's in. Next, these 2 end pieces are going to go in like so. So like, and I'm sorry if you hear talking in the background guys, but this is going to be like so. And then these pieces go on the ends. Now you want to make sure this part, because they can stack on top of each other. So if you see the one we already have built, they're going to be able to stack on each other like this. So you want to make sure that the curved edges are going towards the bottom of the symbol on the side. So pop those guys in. Dry fitting is always important, no matter what the kit is, an MDF kit, a model kit, always dry fit your stuff. And then you have these things. These are things that go on the bottom. So the one with the stub, so we have two different ones here, like so. The ones with the little stub that is inside, or I guess farther in, goes on the bottom. So each little bottom hole gets two of those. You know what, let's put them together first. Each little bottom hole gets two of them if they're gonna fit. Sometimes, you know, it requires a little finagling. And then each of these things like so. Let's put those guys in. And then on top, it's fine. And there you go, guys. So that is what the kit is going to go together. And in the order you saw me put together is in the order you want to paint them. So I'm going to speed up the video here. I'm going to assemble it all, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what we did. So let's start speeding up the video. Enjoy the music. Okay, and we're stopped the speeding of the video real quickly because I want to talk to you about gluing. So first of all, grab your, where's our glue container? Right here. Grab your glue container, and then grab your paintbrush. Make sure there's no water on it. Okay, so start with the first piece like we talked about, which was the bottom. It's important that you want to put glue along every single ridge to get the best contact and have the strongest, I guess, hold, so your container's not going to fall apart. Put glue on every single edge, and then put glue around the divots or the holes for the corresponding piece. So like this. So you take your glue, you don't want to put too much, but you want to put enough, and you kind of just run your brush all along, which is why you want a longer brush, guys. Run it along like so, and then put that piece down real quickly, grab this, and then knocks lots of the excess off and go in there like so and like so. Put this down, grab this piece, make sure it's the right way up. That's the bottom. We want the logo facing up the side, and then ta-da. Now if you have excess glue like you see down there, it's fine just to rub that off. You want to rub that off, but let's say the glue is right here. You want to rub it toward the detail, because you'd fill up this nice crisp little detail. So rub it away from the detail, but there's nothing, so I'm just gonna rub it like that. Because you don't want that to be there to mess up the painting. Okay, guys, so follow me. I'm going to speed this up. You're going to see how it's built and build it all. Make sure each piece or each, I guess, seam has glue in it for the maximum hold. So enjoy, guys. Okay guys, now we're back. Now the reason why we stopped filming this video is I want to explain the importance of, well, elastic bands. Now, at this point, we've completed the box. We want to let that dry before we put the end caps on, just because we want to make sure it's completely solid. So the best way to do that, an elastic right there, and then we'll double up this elastic in half, and then finally an elastic right down the middle, if we can get it up. Okay, it's being troublesome, but there we go. An elastic right down the middle. That way, it's going to be held together and hopefully have a nice solid bond. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this guy off to the side, and we're going to build our ladder next. So let's go ahead, put these pieces down here for now. We'll set our brush in water because we don't want it to dry out in the meantime. And put that to the side, the glue to the side. Let's go ahead and talk about the ladder for a second. Now let's take a look at our example piece. This one is already built. The ladder goes onto a little prong right here and fits in like that. It doesn't need to be glued, but it can be glued. That's completely up to you. So let's go about how we do building that. First of all, you got your 4 pieces for the ladder, the 2 sides, and the top rung. The top rung is going to sit right there like that. So these 2 pieces, like so. Alright, next we grab our initial ladder. That goes in right there. 2 sides, boom. And then the top piece, like that. Always dry fit like we've been talking about, guys. And then the side goes on. And boom. And then you have the completed thing. So that's going to be able to hold onto up top. It's going to clip into the bottom right down there. So that is how the ladder is built. Let's go ahead and glue it now together, and I'm going to speed up the video. Like I said, make sure there's glue on every single point. Okay, and once I said, another elastic, hold this bad boy together, let it dry a bit before we go farther. Now, for painting purposes, I would advise leaving this off. If you're going to paint it, if you're not going to paint it or you're going to do a really quick job, certainly glue it back on. And certainly Systema also does a great job with making all their stuff interchangeable. So you might be able to use this somewhere else in the Base-0 set. So we're going to leave that aside and we're going to go back to our box. Now it's had maybe 2 minutes. It should be held together pretty good. This was just to make sure the glue's set and it wasn't going to shift at other points. So now let's go ahead and do the rest of the building. So first of all, we have the end caps, which we remember go on this way. And then finally the top and bottom feet. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to speed up the video and we'll be back, guys. And there we are, guys, the completed container. Once again, we're just going to throw a elastic around it to hold everything in place while it dries. If we did this right, we should take a completed container, be able to stack him perfectly, like so. Looks awesome, and there we are. And then, of course, you can have your ladders running up the sides. So you got your first one, put that right here. There you got your first one, and then our second one is still drying, but we can show you. It would go like so, all the way up the side. A nice climb ladder all the way to its front. Great for Infinity, great for Warhammer 40k, lots of sci-fi games. But that is the big container. Let's go ahead and show you how to do all the 4 smaller boxes. And here we are, guys, with the stuff we need to build the 4 smaller containers. Here we have a long and thick container. I don't know what they call the boxes. There's going to be 2 of these in each kit. Here we have the cube boxes. There's going to be 6 of these in each kit. Here we have the long and thin boxes. There's going to be 2 of these in each kit. And then finally, we have the thin and medium boxes using the cube size. And there's going to be 3 of these in each kit. Now, they're all pretty self-explanatory. You have a top, a bottom, a middle of each. They're not that hard to put together, and I'm certainly sure you guys could figure it out. So, basically what happens, if you build a cube in anything before, you know, you got 4 sides, so that's going to be a bottom. And then the other side, like so. It's hard because there needs to be glue to hold them together, but dry fit everything as needed. Make sure all the things are shaved, and so forth. And then you're going to put your cap on, like so.
Nice.
But you're going to end up with something that should be a nice box like this. So for each of them, it's simple. Let's speed up the video. Follow me as I do it. But make sure you add glue to all the surfaces. Make sure it's nice and stuck together well, an elastic on each, and make sure when you wipe off any excess glue, if there is any, wipe away from the detail. You don't want to wipe towards the detail to cover up some of this cool detailing. So let's go ahead and start that, guys. Yeah, I unpause the video real quickly because it's easier to it's easier to do 2 sides and then start building. So what I'm going to do right here is, you saw I glued 2 sides. I'm going to glue one right there, another right there. Let that sit really quickly, and then I'm going to put glue. Make sure we have it going the right way, like so. We want to make sure both ends match up. Into the other piece. Too much glue on my thing. Let's knock it off. Bit of glue here, bit of glue here, bit of glue there, bit of glue there. And then put this back up. Kind of wiggle it into place. Okay, let's try this here. One side, one side. Boom, boom, and boom. And there we are. Now we're in business. And then hold these tight together and do the rest. Remember, wipe away from the material. Okay, let's go ahead and back to doing this. And there we are, guys. All 4 of the boxes built. It took a bit. I had a bit of struggling with this guy just because I had to hold some of the pieces up and, you know, fit the tops in and everything. But once you get them all together, they go together pretty easily. Set these aside, let them dry, continue with all the other boxes, and then let's come back and see what we have, guys. And there we have it, guys. All of our container and our 4 boxes assembled. You're going to have 3 of these big container, guys, each with a ladder that should be kept separate if you're going to paint. If not, feel free to glue it on, but it does hold up pretty well. I mean, it is designed to hold up pretty well, so you don't even have to glue it on if you don't want to. You're going to have 2 of these bad boys, you're going to have 2 of these bad boys, 3 of these guys, and 6 of these cubed boxes. This was an assembly instruction video for our Base-0 boxes and containers. If you have any questions, any other ideas on how to make these assembly videos better, please let us know. Thank you for watching another Systema assembly instruction video, and keep on wargaming, guys.